Drivers. Which driver is the best for music? Headphone drivers are the most important part of any headphones as their quality and tuning determine the final sound quality. Learn about the headphone driver types, where you can find them, and their technical characteristics. What is a headphone driver basically? The headphone driver is a component responsible for producing sound. It converts an electronic audio signal into vibrations you can hear as music. It is the most vital part of headphones and earbuds. Everything else, from design to other component, must ensure the drivers uh, work effortlessly as possible. Headphone drivers are generally constructed from a magnet, typically made from it interacts with the electromagnetic field. Voice call, which creates a electromagnetic field. Diaphragm, which pushes air and creates sound waves. Okay, diaphragm, like from which we hear the from which we hear um sounds, like type of thing. uh Types of headphone drivers. The headphone industry uses at least six different type of headphone drivers. They come in various sizes and use various technologies to produce sound. Each type has its strengths and weaknesses. So manufacturers sometimes combine different ones to get the best of both worlds. Here are all the headphone types you might come across. Dynamic drivers, moving coil. Dynamic drivers are by far the most common type of headphone drivers in the more consumer and professional headphones. Dynamic drivers contain the following: magnet, voice coil, diaphragm. This is how dynamic drivers work. Electricity flows into the voice coil, which creates an electromagnetic field. Coil is wrapped around the magnet by constantly changing the polarity. The magnet pushes the electromagnetic field up and down. Changes in polarity happen many times per second and depending on the frequency. Since the voice coil is connected to the diaphragm, the latter also moves. By pushing air, it translates those up and down vibrations into sound. Pros and cons of dynamic driver. Dynamic neodymium drivers are the easiest and the cheapest to manufacture. Moving coil is old yet perfected and offers excellent results. Dynamic drivers produce realistic room speaker like sound with deep 30 bass. It can be very power efficient, able to drive off portable devices. This type of driver is prone to distortion, not the most controlled and detailed compared to other drivers. Planar magnetic drivers. Planar magnetic drivers are used increasingly as a cheaper alternate to electrostatic drivers. You can find them in many audiophile headphones and even earbuds. Planar magnetic drivers contain the following: diaphragm with a thin coil and magnets. How it works. Diaphragm with built-in coil is suspended between two oppositely aligned magnets. By changing the electrical charge of the diaphragm, the latter move towards a specific magnet that creates movement, which pushes air and starts producing sound waves. Pros and cons. Planar magnetic headphones offer more detailed and controlled sound. They are more expensive yet cheaper to produce. The electrostatic drivers relatively easy to drive even from a portable device. Larger drivers in size, which results in bigger up ear cuffs and heavier headphones. Electrostatic drivers. This type of driver is rarely used in headphones, although you can find it in some expensive models. Its issue isn't in sound quality but in price and difficulty to power. Electrostatic contain a thin diaphragm, also called PET, coated with an even thinner and electrically charged metal film or formed metal plates. How does an electrostatic driver work? ਉੱਤੇ ਲੈ ਲੈਣਾ ਚੱਦਰ ਛੱਤਾਂ ਬਣ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ ਚੱਕ ਲਾ ਕਰ diaphragm 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 is suspended between two metal plates which acts as the electrodes and create invisible electric fields when supplied with electrical signals. The diaphragm then moves left and right towards the electrode, which produces an electric field. This movement starts to move air and create sound waves. Pros and cons of the electrostatic driver. Electrostatic drivers can produce clear, full range sound with great precision and control. This sound can be too clinical and unnaturally clear. Okay, expensive to produce even a tiny dusty dust particle in the driver itself can result in audible distortion. Require unique headphone amps to run correctly. Balanced armature drivers, balanced armature BA drivers are found in ear monitors. Yeah, wireless earbuds and hearing aids. Due to small size, manufacturers can multiple BA drivers into the ear, each taking care of specific frequency region. Have 8 in each. KZ-AS16 Pro have 8 in each earbud. Oh my god. Balance armature coil magnet diaphragm. How does this work? Coil is wrapped around the armature, which is fixed with a pivot and placed between the positive and negative ends of the permanent magnet. The armature also has one end attached to a diaphragm. Based on the electrical signal, the polarity changes, seesawing the armature that starts pulling the diaphragm, which begins to move air and produce sound waves. Pros and cons of the balanced armature driver: produce controlled sound with good detail, small in size so they can fit in devices like hearing aids or one earbud. Can use multiple of them to achieve better sound. Energy efficient so you can drive multiple BA drivers in one IEM from your smartphone. Not the best for full range performances. The bass response doesn't sound as natural as the dynamic drivers. Piezoelectric drivers are used, although rarely, in earbuds and ear monitors, mainly to handle higher frequencies. More than for headphones, this driver is used in stethoscope, buzzers, sonar systems. Material is this from which it is made? How does it work? Main thing is this, and pros and cons we have to read them also. Only. Using the principle of electronegativity and molecular dipole bonds, piezoelectric material can shrink or stretch depending on the polarity of the voltage. That tech uses shrinking and stretching movements to move a diaphragm, which displaces air and produces sound. Sensitive to small changes in voltage, suitable for producing higher frequencies, not suitable for full range response due to weak bass output, occasional sizzle in higher frequencies. Magnetotic driver. This type of driver only vibrates and doesn't displace air, making it an ideal pick for bone conduction headphones. It's made out of magnetostritic material like nickel, wire coil. Multiple plates are placed in a parallel with one end attached to the surface of to the transfer. Mechanical vibrations wire coil goes around the plates. When sending an electrical current through coil, it creates a magnetic field which interacts with magnetostriction material. causing plates to stretch and shrink. That creates vibration that transfer to the headphone surface, your cheekbones, and later to your ear. Suitable for bone conduction headphones for people with external ear damage. Bone conduction drivers have low quality sound. You need larger transducers to produce some bass. Now this is the comparison. Exit sound quality external prone to distortion, natural bass. Sensitivity, high sensitivity. Balance low frequency, greater control but limited in frequency range, not as natural bass. Pricer than dynamics, small and light. I think balanced amateur is the best for music producer because these are used in IMs and IMs are said to be the best headphones. Right here, bone conducting is obviously not, and piezo electric also not. The electrostatic comes. It's really big and heavy, so this also doesn't come. So here, planar magnetic, excellent and controlled, not as natural base. This is good, excellent tech and controlled. Both are in their low impedance and sensitivity around 100 dB, but not always. That's also good. 12 mm to 110 mm and heavy. It's heavy though. Uh, yeah, but planar magnetic is also a good thing. Dynamic and balance armature are type of a same, you can say, because they provide both good sound quality, but the main distinction is that the natural bass and sensitivity. I think sensitivity is same. I think yeah, sensitivity is same. Uh, Dynamic has an edge in the sensitivity part, and cheap to quite pricey and pricier than dynamic. I mean, dynamic is the, the main difference between dynamic and balance mature is controlled sound. Dynamic doesn't have a controlled sound, whereas amateur has a controlled sound. Planar magnetic also has a controlled sound. Let's see what is there in planar magnetic. Well, first, let's complete this. Let's see now. Larger drivers in size. That's the biggest. Bigger ear cups you need. Like the professional headphones, the wear is the planar magnetic. That's a good man. Audiophile. I think these are the headphones. Yeah, these are the headphones that professional headphones use. That's great. I mean, if we have to choose between dynamic and amateur as a music producer, we should choose amateur because these are more of a controlled and we need controlled, controlled sound. We don't need a dynamic that uh, provide a good experience. We need a controlled. Although amateur are designed to, we can literally modify the frequencies to our wish for the headphones. I think that's the best part. I think. But yeah, let's see. आगे देखते हैं. Types of music. If you sing natural warmed sound with all its flaws, some people actually prefer that for casual listening. Dynamic drivers are the best. That's simple what I'm saying. On the flip side, electricity drivers comes with the precision and detail, offering better sound quality. They are great more for analytical listening and all kinds of genre from bass forward ones. Balance which one? Planar magnetic, the ones big, and electrostatic is like, I think heavy, really heavy. These are very big though. And then comes the piezoelectric drivers for the most genres except aggressive ones like metal, loud cymbal crashes, causes sizzling. Magnetostation is suitable for music with little instrumentation as it cannot keep up with busy tracks. Comfort and fit. This really depends on the size of the drivers and type of headphones. Earphone drivers don't impact comfort in earbuds and IAMs since they are very small. They are always small. But for bigger headphones, planar, magnetic, and electrostatic drivers can be massive. Therefore, expect the headphones to be heavier and less comfortable than other options. That's I was talking about that heavy. They are really heavy. Durability and portability. The only driver type that suffers from portability is electrostatic. Okay, here only one in over ear headphones. Headphones, since you need special energy energizers to power them correctly. The one in IAMs also work with portable devices. On the other hand, no particular driver type is more susceptible 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 to durability issues than others. But if we must pick, electrostatic are the most sensitive and require the most controlled manufacturing. Okay. Brand of brand. Most manufacturers make their own driver design, so the quality varies depending on the model. One of the examples of reputable brand that indicates quality drivers is Novlas, which makes a balanced armature drivers. Though we can say this is the best brand, but we can't believe because this also can be a paid something, yeah. But yeah, we can 60-40 AI. We can rely 60% and we cannot rely 40%. We can just like suspect शक कि इन नजरों से हम देख सकते हैं 40% आगे देखते हैं. Do headphones with more drivers mean better sound? Headphones with more drivers don't necessarily sound better with the ones with one driver that masterfully tuned. If anything, we are seeing that earbuds with dynamic or BA combos usually sound bright and unnatural, as if they are trying to sell the fact they have two drivers and not their sound quality. So don't let the number of drivers fool you, especially if you are looking at multi-driver gaming headsets, which are pure gaming. That said, many high-end IAMs have multiple drivers, and even musicians use such IAMs as monitors during their performances. You can see two bigger and two smaller B drivers inside the keys and Pro inclusion, and that's not always fine. Bigger headphones drivers are better. Bigger headphone drivers can output more mature, more speaker like sound, but face with the quality of bass response. As long as they are properly tuned, even small drivers can deliver high fidelity sound with excellent detail. They can also prevent bass hanging. The other bigger drivers replace more and create more natural feel. Which I is there for headphones. And the headphone drivers are essential part of memory. Tuning is a more important than driver time. And listening to music is only for tones. Remember, the tuning is more important than any driver, and the only driver best for music producers are wireless amateur, electrostatic, and dynamic. Start from dynamic, go to balanced amateur, and then electrostatic.